Good morning, I'm Gretchen Ho. We're coming to you on this 15th of January. It is a Thursday, bringing you Morning Matters because your morning's matters get to the stories that matter today. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee is set to resume its probe into anomalous flood control projects next week. However, before the hearings reconvene, Committee Chairman Senator Ping Lacson personally addressed the allegations leveled against him by colleague Senator Amy Marcos. A manhunt is underway for businessman Atong Ang and his co-accused after warrants were officially released in the case of the missing sabungeros. They face severe charges, including 10 counts of kidnapping with homicide and 16 counts of kidnapping with serious illegal detention. And a tropical depression, Ada, is forecast to reach tropical storm category today as it moves over the Philippine Sea. Tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 is now active in various provinces as the nation braces for the first storm of the year. Welcome to our program, Morning Matters, where we talk about the issues you need to know for the rest of your day. Now, first on the agenda, Senate President Pro Tempore Ping Lacson is firing back after a series of social media posts by Senator Amy Marcos, sparking a public row over budget and other matters. Here is a report.
Senator Amy Marcos is showing no signs of slowing down as she continues to release a series of barbs on her social media accounts, this time over the 2026 national budget.
Pag malalaki ang tipak, mahirap isilid, parang pork barrel. Kaya ang ginagawa, ginigiling.
Her comments eventually turned into jabs at Senate President Pro Tempore Ping Lacson. Senator Marcos even delivered this in a game show-style video. She asked what word starting with the letter P describes a politician who often switches parties just to stay in power. Her answer?
P! Nako, political butterfly yan.
Mali. Ha? Ang tamang sagot ay pink.
Pink!
Mali ang dinig mo, Senator. Ang sabi ko, pink. Diba? Nagpapalit-palit ng kulay. Yellow, naging pink. White sa mga rally, pero yung pink, parang ganun din.
Senator Marcos earlier said that Lacson appeared irritated with her over her previous statements on aid programs. She even claimed that Senator Ping's anger could lead to a hair-pulling match. But Senator Lacson seemed unable to hold back.
Magsabunutan daw kami. Yan ang reaksyon ni Senator Amy Marcos sa issue ng di umano ay pork barrel sa 2026 GAA. Hindi po peluka ang aking buhok. Idugtong ko na rin na walang peke sa mukha ko. Hindi rin pustiso ang ngipin ko. My teeth are all mine. Ulitin ko, walang peke sa anumang bahagi ng aking mukha.
After Amy brought up the idea of a hair-pulling incident, Lacson insisted that the senator may be thinking he is gay.
Lalong hindi ako bakla. At yung iniisip ni Senator Amy na bakla ako, wala siyang maaaring makita na macho dito sa mundo.
Lacson said he has no problem with homosexuals, stressing only that he considers himself very much a man.
I have nothing against homosexuals. It is their choice and I respect them for that. But as far as I'm concerned, kahit hindi ako kagwapuhan, para sa akin, masarap pa rin na maging tunay na lalaki. At tulad ni Tito Soto at Gringo Hunasan, macho din po ako. Lalaking lalaki. Period.
Senator Marcos quickly fired back on social media. She insisted that she never said Senator Lacson was gay. She added that there is nothing wrong with being gay, and nothing wrong with wanting to enhance or change something about yourself. Senator Marcos further said that it is a person's decision if they want to have any procedure done, and also their decision if they want to ruin their face, name, and dignity. She said the common question in both cases is, how much? As of this report, Senator Marcos has yet to address other issues raised against her.
The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee will resume its investigation into alleged anomalies in flood control projects on January 19. Committee Chair Senator Ping Lacson said the inquiry will focus on the so-called Cabral files. He noted that the panel will issue a subpoena Duces Tecum to DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon to provide the alleged documents. Lacson also wants clarification on reports that former DPWH Secretary Manny Bonoan allegedly sent erroneous grid coordinates and flood control projects to Malacanang. The committee will also look into reports that former House Speaker Martin Romualdez allegedly used contractors Curly and Sara Discaya as a front to buy a house and lot in a plush Makati subdivision.
If verified to be true, this could possibly establish a direct connection between the former speaker and the Discayas. In this regard, we may invite the former owner of the property to shed light. Kasi hindi lang ganun. Hindi naman siguro nag-ahente si Discaya. No? Kung siya yung front, siya yung lumalabas na bumili, ganun na lang kalaki ang tiwala kung totoo ni former speaker kay Discaya. So hindi ganun kababaw yung kanilang yung kanilang samahan.
Tycoon Enrique Razon Jr. has filed a cyber libel complaint against Cavite 4th District Representative Kiko Barzaga over social media posts linking him to alleged corruption and bribery. Razon denied the claims and filed 2 counts of cyber libel before the Makati Prosecutor's Office, seeking at least 100 million pesos in moral damages and 10 million pesos in exemplary damages. Barzaga since deleted the posts, but Razon said they had already reached thousands of users and were not part of any legislative proceedings. The Philippine National Police has launched an intensified manhunt for Atong Ang and another co-accused following the issuance of an arrest warrant in connection with the missing sabungeros case. Here's the report.
The Philippine National Police is actively searching for businessman and gambling tycoon Charlie Atong Ang. Ang, along with at least 17 others, was ordered arrested by the Santa Cruz Regional Trial Court Branch 26 in Laguna in connection with the missing sabungeros case. The charges include 10 counts of kidnapping with homicide and 16 counts of kidnapping and serious illegal detention.
We have certain procedures in implementing warrant of arrest, hindi lang warrant of arrest, at different police operations. This is a implementation of warrant of arrest. Meron tayong procedure, and the PNP personnel, all PNP personnel involved are, of course, mandated na sundin ito. At gagawin nila ang lahat para ma-implement. Tukoy ang ating warrant of arrest or location of Charlie Atong Ang, different location, and it will be served in those locations.
On Wednesday, PNP CIDG officers went to Ang's registered address in Pasig City to serve the arrest warrant. At first, no one seemed to be there in the house until Ang's lawyer appeared, claiming his client was not there.
We have to have paano kung may mangyari dyan sa loob?
Wala naman.
How can you be
It's
sure?
just the service of,
Ma'am,
of an arrest warrant. Sir, and
this is a
wala
service
rin
order.
dito yung kliyente ko.
How can we be sure? Titingnan po namin.
Papayagan namin kung may pumasok. Although hindi naman kailangan, pero to show good faith and good
Ma'am, kailangan naman.
I am
Kailangan
allowing-
po, hindi po pwedeng.
No, pero
Kailangan po.
hindi naman search warrant.
Kailangan po.
A separate team also attempted to serve the warrant at Ang's farm in Batangas, but he could not be located. So far, several suspects have been taken into custody. 7 civilians and 9 police officers who were already under restrictive custody before the issuance of their warrants.
Before nangyari po ang ito, they are already under surveillance and they are arrested. Some of them are security, some of them are employees nung yung sabungan. Right after na makuha po namin, we will be returning the warrant sa court, and it is up to the court kung saan po ang sila madidetain.
Only Ang and a dismissed police officer remain at large. The CIDG is urging Ang to surrender peacefully.
I asked Mr. Atong Ang to peacefully surrender na lang. He has participated peacefully doon sa conduct of the investigation with the Department of Justice. He may just face peacefully.
Coming right up, one of DepEd's top priorities for 2026 is the implementation of strengthened anti-bullying strategies nationwide. We'll discuss these initiatives with DepEd Assistant Secretary for Operations Jocelyn Andaya when Morning Matters returns after a quick break. Keep it here. Welcome back. You're also watching Morning Matters here on One News. The Department of Education has allocated at least 100 million pesos for the Kaagapay program, which focuses on bullying prevention, values formation, and learner support. The initiative empowers parents and guardians to support home-based learning, complement classroom instruction, and foster safe and inclusive school environments. DepEd said the Kaagapay program seeks to reinforce K-12 curriculum goals, including homeroom guidance, good manners and right conduct, and values education. The program also provides tools to prevent and address bullying in collaboration with schools and local child protection mechanisms. And joining us now on the show, we have DepEd Assistant Secretary Jocelyn Andaya to discuss the Kaagapay program and the agency's priorities for this year. Magandang umaga po sa inyo, ASEC.
Good morning, Gretchen. Good morning to our viewers. Happy sunny day.
Happy Thursday. It is a Thursday.
Happy
Okay.
Thursday.
Okay. The Kaagapay program was formally introduced under DepEd Memorandum Number 002 for 2026. Tell us all about what this Kaagapay program is all about, and what does bullying prevention, values formation, and learner support under it really mean?
Yeah, thank you. We all know that our learners are our priority, and their well-being is always the concern of the Department of Education. And under the leadership of Secretary Sani Angara, we're trying to ensure that the environment is safe and secure for our learners. And it's not just in the school, but also in the community and in the home. And that's why Kaagapay, which is a parent engagement program, will be implemented in collaboration with CSOs and even NGOs. It's really primarily designed to encourage parents to work with the Department of Education, specifically with the school, in ensuring that our learners are guided not just in the school but also in the home, because we all know that most of their time is also, our learners' time is also spent at home. And through this Kaagapay program, we will, of course, train our parents and even give them a platform to discuss amongst themselves as well, and guided by our partners, best practices on learner formation, protection, well-being. And you said it earlier, that it's also about providing social and emotional support, positive discipline, behavior guidance, and then bullying awareness. And in speaking about bullying, we know that there were several incidents, especially last year, on bullying. And it's important for our parents to also talk to their children, especially when these children are at home, and spot if there are some concerns or issues. Because sometimes the children do not talk about these things with their parents. And it's important for the parents to really be sensitive and to guide their kids in trying to open up to them, so that these incidents will be mitigated.
Have you
So
been
basic-
able to figure out the root causes of bullying, the problem of bullying in school? Kasi we do know that parenting is also one of the things that could produce the situation at home. And so, how do you capacitate the parents and guardians who will be the primary proponents of this Kaagapay program?
Yeah. We have scheduled several trainings for our parents, and this in collaboration with some of our partners like Save the Children, Teach for the Philippines, World Vision, so that they are capacitated. We have earmarked specific dates where they can be trained to handle these issues and concerns. To familiarize themselves also as regards properly handling their child's concern if it reaches that point.
Oo. Ano pong ituturo dito sa Kaagapay program?
Parents.
Sa training sa mga parents?
We will
Is it
provide
going to
our
be...
parents
go ahead.
with clear orientation on learner protection policies, including bullying prevention, discuss positive and violent discipline practices. We will deepen our parents' understanding of learner behavior, psychosocial development, and mental health, and clarify how parents can work with schools in identifying and responding to learner concerns. And we plan to establish clear communication and coordination mechanisms between parents and schools so that they themselves can also inform other parents about these coordination activities that we're doing for them.
Oo. But this assumes that the parents will have time to do all of this. Alam po
Correct.
natin no, na ngayon ang mga pamilya ngayon, two-income families na yan most of the time. There are housewives who stay at home to look after the children, but given the economic pressures, no, how did you take that into account into this the implementation of this program?
Yeah, we're flexible about the program. We will take a look at the available time of the parents. And the training isn't just face to face; it's also online. And so, if the parents cannot really come to school, then we will provide online capacity building for them, or we schedule it on a Saturday. In other words, we will try to make sure that we will be able to let them come on board on a time that they are free. It's important for them also. They must realize it's also important for them to set aside even just a simple, a couple of hours to participate in this program. We know, well, palasak na ito, pero it really takes a village to educate a child. So it isn't just the parents, it's actually the community, the CSOs, the teachers involved in this particular endeavor.
Okay.
So
You
again,
mentioned,
kung
no?
medyo busy ang magulang, sorry, so
Go ahead, ma'am.
kung busy ang magulang, meron tayong iba-ibang modality in order to do that. Pwede siyang online, pwedeng Sabado, at any convenient time for the parents.
And is
Meron
this a
din po
module?
tayong leaflets na
this-
ipamimigay sa kanila so that they can also read.
Is this a module that they would have to go through?
Yeah.
And how many sessions?
Yeah. At the moment, wala pa tayong kung ilang sessions sila. We're just saying na 2 days muna yung parental engagement talaga. So, kung dadagdag pa po yun, hindi pa namin nakikita. Pero ang 2 days, napakahalagang orientation po for them.
Okay. How will the 100 million peso budget be distributed between central oversight, regional training, and actual resources for individual schools? Is the list of organizations that you mentioned a while ago part of that budget distribution?
Correct. We have parent engagement sessions. We also have printing of toolkits and other advocacy materials, and also the training of facilitators. And this 100 million will be downloaded to our division, to our regional offices. And they'll be the ones to conduct it. So, for instance, in Region 1, there's a certain amount like 5 million that will be given to them in order for them to do this kind of activity. It will be distributed over 17 regions.
Oo. Tapos, ang magtuturo ko ay itong mga Save the Children, World Vision.
Yeah. In coordination with us. So, we'll be trained also so that we can have so many trainers that can help our parents.
Oo. In your research, does it come out that there is a hunger for this type of training amongst parents?
Yes. There are many parents that are really interested because some of them really experience particular problems as regards attendance of their kids in schools for several reasons. One of which is really to cope with anti-bullying bullying incidents, at the same time mental health issues.
So meron pong kagustuhan na matuto kung paano mag-handle nung modern day problem. Actually, matagal na ho yan, pero ngayon naniname na ho natin. But How do you plan to measure the success of this program? In what specific metric would that come?
One, I think, is parent engagement. The participation is a good indication that really the interest is there. Number two is consistency of course, the engagement with us, and hopefully that there will be minor incidents of bullying, and at the same time we're able to address the mental well-being of our learners. Ultimately.
Okay, paano naman ho yung mga bata na may problema sa pamilya? I mean, medyo ibang situation po yun no? How would you deal with that?
Meron po din tayong proseso para dyan. We're making sure that our advisor, classroom advisor, our teachers, and our guidance counselors are able to detect such and are able to provide guidance also. So there's a separate process for that as well. And that's why it's important that the homeroom program and our lessons on values formation and the like will come into play.
And speaking of guidance counselors, there is a 2.9 billion allocation for school-based mental health for DepEd. What specific percentage of this fund is dedicated to hiring new guidance counselors? We do know there is a sore lack of guidance counselors, and sometimes or many times the responsibilities get transferred to the teachers.
We plan to hire 10,000 this year for our guidance counselors and school guidance advocates. That's the plan of the Department of Education, so that we are able to respond to the mental health issues and concerns of our learners. And there are other expenses that will be incurred in terms of training our trainers on mental health intervention, guidance offices being converted into mental health intervention offices in school settings, and other programs under the Bureau of Learner Support Services.
May a healthy ratio po ba? Have you identified a specific ratio to meet? For example, one school is to how many X number of guidance counselors?
Ideally, one guidance counselor to 500 students. Ideally, even for private schools. But of course, we know that there's a dearth of guidance counselors, and that's why we're actively pursuing the hiring of our school guidance advocates in order to fill that gap.
Sa ngayon, ilan po ang meron po natin?
Guidance counselors, sorry, I do not have the figures yet, but it's just around, if I'm not mistaken, 5,000.
Napakaliit ho, no? So this will
talaga,
triple the number
Yun
of
po
guidance
talaga. Kaya tayo
counselors.
magkakaroon ng mga guidance advocates and counselors, school guidance counselors. Yeah.
And so this 2.9 billion allocation is mainly for that. What else would be under this mental health budget?
There will be other expenses for youth formation activities, not simply for mental health and anti-bullying. We have also school-based services, health services, and other referral mechanisms. So that forms part of the 2.9 billion.
Okay. Have you been able to identify in your research the causes of bullying incidents in schools? What are the top reasons?
Top reasons for bullying. Sometimes it's actually the problem at home that is more brought to the school. Number two is congestion also. Because if you're too congested in certain, for instance, in some areas in Metro Manila or some schools in Metro Manila, it also accounts for bullying cases.
So those are the top two reasons, yung family issues and then congestion.
Yeah.
So you I want to go to the first point, no, yung sa family, no. And so this is more of a voluntary program. If parents want to enroll themselves in this Kaagapay program, then there is that mechanism that will train them on parenting and how
On
to deal with the
parenting.
mental health. Is there a standard set of values that you will teach, no? Or strategies in parenting that you will teach? Or ito po ay bahala na dun sa organisasyon na magbababa?
There will be a standard way of doing it, and focus also on the themes that need to be trained. So, for instance, in socio-emotional and value support, we reinforce the personal, social, and moral competencies introduced through our subjects such as GMRC, values education, and homeroom guidance. But as to specifics, we are, I think, DepEd is still crafting it together with our CSO partners. But that we will be able to have one prior to the training this summer.
Well, the first problem that you mentioned is a much more complex challenge, right? But the second one, the congestion, is probably the one that will be or could be easily addressed by this Kaagapay program. When will be the start of the rollout?
Next school year, specifically in June. But if there are some pilot regions already that we are looking into, like for instance, 2 divisions per region, so that when we finally have our rollout in June, then we have a better grasp of how to do it better.
Okay.
Implement
Maraming
it better.
salamat, ASEC, for telling us all about this program, and we do hope it does produce results. Iba na po yung mga problema ng kabataan ngayon. Lalong-lalo na.
That's
no,
why we really
sa-
need parents.
Kailangan talaga ng kaagapay. Hindi lang ng mga teacher, pwede ng mga parents in doing this and addressing this. Thank you so much for your time today. We have ASEC
Thank you.
Jocelyn Andaya of the Department of Education. Up next, we'll be joined by NAPOLCOM Vice Chairperson Executive Officer Rafael Calinisan to discuss the case of the missing sabungeros. He will also address recent controversies and other administrative issues involving members of the police force. Don't go away. Morning Matters will be back after a quick break. Keep it here in One News. Good morning, Gretchen Ho here on Morning Matters. We talk about the most pressing issues and give you the context behind the headlines. As we know, the PNP has launched an intensified manhunt for businessman and gambling tycoon Charlie Atong Ang following the issuance of an arrest warrant in connection with the missing sabungeros case. Ang, along with at least 17 others, was ordered arrested by a Laguna court and faces multiple counts of kidnapping with homicide, as well as kidnapping and serious illegal detention. Police teams attempted to serve the warrants at Ang's registered address in Pasig City and at his farm in Batangas, but he could not be located in either site. Authorities have urged Ang to surrender peacefully as operations continue. Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police is facing several issues among its police officers on the ground. Now, just this week, a woman filed a complaint before the National Police Commission against a Manila police officer over an alleged rape. The victim, identified as Anna, said she lost consciousness during a night out in Quezon City and later woke up in a motel where the alleged assault took place. In another case, a police officer in Cavite is facing criminal charges for allegedly shooting a fellow cop during an anti-drug operation in General Trias City. In Cebulan, Negros Oriental, another officer was involved in an incident that resulted in the deaths of a female bar employee and 3 fellow policemen following a drinking session at a bar. Additionally, a police brigadier general was charged administratively for wearing luxury shoes reportedly worth over 70,000 pesos with her police uniform. And joining us now to talk about these issues, we have NAPOLCOM Commissioner Rafael Calinisan. Welcome back to Morning Matters.
Well, Gretch, maganda umaga sa lahat na nakikinig sa atin.
We know that you have been with NAPOLCOM for over a year now.
Over a year as commissioner, but as head of NAPOLCOM, 8 months.
And ano yung natagpuan ninyo pagdating niyo sa opisina?
Puro problema. Totoo lang, Gretch. We were swamped. The commissioners saw a huge deluge of cases na sitting for the past 25 years. So, nung April nung tayong naupo, ang una nating inutos, 1, 0 dapat ang lahat ng kaso, all 4,000 cases. All 25-year long cases, 0 dapat yan by December 2025. At na-zero natin siya. December 23, we discussed the last case at lahat ngayon ng may kaso, tapos na. Kung ikaw ay innocenteng police, laya ka na. If yung mga tao nag-aantay naman ng kanilang hustisya, nabigyan na namin. If they are guilty, they are now removed from the police service.
No, because you posted about this, no, 0 backlog already.
Yes.
How did it get there and how,
totoo lang.
how difficult was that? At saka, gusto lang namin malinawan sa proseso, no? Lahat ba ng kaso against police officers dumadaan sa NAPOLCOM?
Inevitably, all cases will reach the National Police Commission. So, the National Police Commission can start cases, yung summary dismissal cases na tinatawag, so they can initiate yung isang kaso, motu proprio, kahit walang complainant, or based on a complaint filed with us. O hindi naman kaya, cases on appeal. Like say, kunwari, may kaso na sinampa dun sa Philippine National Police, pinasa dun kay Chief PNP, aakyat yan kay NAPOLCOM. Final sa pleb, aakyat din yan kay NAPOLCOM. Final kay Mayor, aakyat yan kay NAPOLCOM. Final kay IAS, PNP Chief, NAPOLCOM. So ang ending, Gretch, all cases about policemen all end up with the National Police Commission. Yun yung bulto ng 4,000 cases na inubos natin for the past 8 months.
Okay. I want to go first to the missing sabungeros case because there is an arrest warrant already served for Atong Ang and 17 others. How about law enforcement? Kasama ba yun doon sa arrest warrants served?
Yes, there were, from our list, there are 10 police officers who were arrested yesterday based on warrants of arrest issued by the Santa Cruz courts, Santa Cruz Laguna courts. However, meron pang pending admin cases, Gretch. And I repeat, and I stress, nung pagka-file ng case noon, August yata yun, 60 days after nung na-file yung case na yun, tapos na rin kami doon sa admin case na yun. We have a decision. It's already signed. We're just waiting for the proper time to release that decision.
So this is beyond the preventive suspension kasi there was 90 days suspension given to the 12 police officers. Is that the correct figure?
Correct. That's the correct figure. There were 12 police officers sued in the first complaint. There's another case, another complaint filed. Isang general naman yung pinag-uusapan doon. But in the first complaint, 12 police officers were preventively suspended for 90 days. So yung kasong yon, meron na rin kaming decision doon. But we're waiting for the proper time to release the decision on that case.
Is it clear now how law enforcement was involved here in this case? Kumbaga naging malinaw na ba yung kaso against Atong Ang and how he was able to reach police officers as high as general rank policeman?
Sa amin sa NAPOLCOM, clear eh. Pero siyempre, pag sinabi ko yung aking personal opinion on how it operated, it will show how we already voted. So humingi pa ako ng konting tawad pa sa'yo, Gretchen, at sa taong bayan.
Hindi ko pwede sabihin.
Oo, kasi maintindihan nyo eh. I will explain in depth, thoroughly, kung bakit hindi ko mailabas pa. Pero konting
matagal na ba
patawad
ito?
pa.
Matagal na, I mean, kasi iba yung missing sabungeros case. Dun sa, parang there was information that came out that they were also involved in the drug war killings.
Yes, on both counts, we are currently investigating. So, sinabi mo na rin naman yung drug war, Gretch. Iniimbestigahan din namin yung drug war, albeit very quietly. So, we're doing our homework in the same way we have done our homework for the sabungeros case. We will release our findings aptly at hanggat maaari, we will be informing the people of the results of our investigations.
But looking at Atong Ang in this arrest warrant being served, it's kidnapping, with homicide and serious illegal detention. Is there new information that came out? Or is this mainly coming from the testimony of the Patidongan brothers?
I can't speak for the DOJ. I cannot also speak for the courts who issued the warrants. But more or less, I would believe that the story that came to us in the NAPOLCOM as we were investigating the admin cases of the policemen might be the same. Pero syempre, yun yung modus na di umano yung nangyari, na yung policemen natin, upon the orders of a big boss, got and killed yung mga sabungeros natin na tinatawag at tinapon nila sa Taal Lake. Yun yung allegations. And this will now be subject of a criminal proceeding with the courts. There are 3 complaints, 3 cases with 3 different courts. And let us see how our judicial system would work. And I'm hoping and I trust that our judicial system will be fast in disposing of these
Pero
cases.
nahanap na ba yung mga sabungero? What was the result of that Taal Lake search?
Nag-uukay pa rin sila. From what I last gathered, maraming pa rin remains na nakuha at nakukuha. I'm not so sure kung meron na nag-match.
Okay.
I heard a report before na hindi maganda yung sample because it has been contaminated for being soaked in sulfuric waters of Taal for the longest time. Pero I am very hopeful with the current technologies. And the Ombudsman Remulla, then Secretary Boying Remulla, has gotten in touch with different entities para to make sure na magkaroon ng technology to facilitate the matching.
Pero may corroborating evidence na ba doon sa policemen and their involvement here, and in what form does that come? Nakapag-trace ba ng bank accounts or kung paano sila na-involve dito? Ano yung bayaran ba? May ganun bang ebidensyang lumalabas?
I repeat, no, dun sa DOJ, I cannot speak for the DOJ. I can also not speak for the courts. Pero dito sa admin cases filed with the NAPOLCOM, meron pa kaming ibang mga ebidensyang kinonsider. There were testimonies of other people. And if I may, Gretch, no, if I may say, sa admin case, assuming whatever the decision might be, kung patay man siya o nawawala, same din naman yan eh. Same din naman ang penalty for if ever eh. Kasi we're talking about grave misconduct here. So kung mamatay yung pinatay nila yon allegedly, o kaya nawawala yon at kinidnap nila yon, it is still that should not still be done by any policeman. That is grave misconduct of a policeman, if ever. So that would constitute grave misconduct, kahit patay man yan o kinidnap, yun pa rin naman ang penalty nila. So
the gravest penalty is
dismissal from the police service, if ever.
Oo. Pero Boying Remulla, when he was just a secretary, said that 15 police officers are believed to have been involved in abduction and execution. So pati yung the implementation of it.
Correct.
Ang nakikita na link doon.
That has been the story. That has been investigated, and we already have the answers to that. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, ready na kami. Konting oras pa, mga kababayan. Ang pangako lang namin, meron pa ring hustisya sa Pilipinas. Magtiwala po tayo.
Okay, ngayon pumunta naman tayo dun sa drug war. Because you already brought that topic back up, no? I've done some research here that under the Marcos administration, and this is a report from the Has Project of UP Diliman, that more or less violence still persists with the same ferocity, with more or less same ferocity. They find that there's no significant change in the present administration's approach to illegal drugs. 35% of the drug-related killings were still small-time drug pushers. So kahit sabi ng Pangulo, habulin niya yung malalaki na drug operators, yung maliliit pa rin daw. At state agents were still, 36% still killed in law enforcement operations. So are you looking at that and mitigating that?
Una, I've yet to see a copy of this report. I have yet to read it. Hirap na mag-intellectually engage na hindi ko pa nababasa. Pero isa yung mapapangako ko, Gretch, wala pong incentive for any policeman now to do any state-sponsored killing. So kung meron mang ganyan, we will investigate that. Kasi ako personally, ayoko ng patayan. I'm sure General Nartates is not pro-killings also. So since na you brought that up with us, pagbalik kong opisina, I will look into this, Gretch. Pero ang pangako ko rin, I'm telling you straight in the eye and telling our Filipino people, hindi po ito ang strategy ng gobyerno sa kasalukuyan. Wala pong ganyan. Hindi po tayo para sa patayan. President Marcos is not for extrajudicial killings. So that I contest. So if there are killings, there might be some explanation to it, but you will get to the bottom of it. Hindi po tayo papayag ng ganyan.
Pero doon sa backlog that you were mentioning a while ago, for the past 25 years, meron ba doon kasama na police officers involved in drug war operations na kinasuhan?
Yung pong totoo, nagtataka po ako Isa rin po to sa siguro concern ko, Gretchen, bilang ordinaryong tao. There were 4,000 cases with us. Siguro there were only 1 or 2 cases about extrajudicial killings. And I'm happy to say we dismissed these policemen. So nung nakita namin, pansin namin ito ay templated EJK, gets na namin, dismiss sila. Pero ang nakakalungkot, hindi na-avail ng taong bayan. Nung panahon na yon, hindi sila lumapit sa National Police Commission. Or should I say, hindi ginampanan ng NAPOLCOM noon ang kanilang trabaho na sawatain o pigilan ang extrajudicial killings. So doon nagkaroon ng gap din May gap ng the NAPOLCOM sat on its powers, sadly. So now, I'm telling you, Gretch, that is not the case. We are a proactive organization. We are a proactive commission. We are looking into the welfare of our policemen, pero sa panahon na sila ay nang-aabuso, at kitang-kita nyo naman, we are doing our part.
But is it possible to do a motu proprio investigation now of those cases in the past?
We are doing an investigation, Gretch. I'm telling you now, meron. So, it is existing. I cannot just divulge the details, but it is existing.
The ICC prosecution has already submitted about more than 1,000 pieces of evidence. We had Gilbert Andres on the show last Monday. Sinabi niya na ito na nga nasumite na, pinakita na rin sa kampo ni Duterte. Have they contacted the NAPOLCOM on this?
The ICC? No, they haven't. So no other parties have reached out to us.
So paano yun? Because di ba may concept na in international law or Philippine law ba yun, na if they're investigating on this, magpaparaya ba ang investigasyon dito? I mean, how does that exist side by side?
Paano ba to? May konsepto ng complementarity. So, ang ibig sabihin nun, dapat hindi sapaw yung investigasyon doon at dito. So, we are doing tactical investigations, Gretch. That I can say. So, I'm very mindful of certain limitations as you have raised. And sabi ko nga sa'yo, hustisya ang iniisip natin dito at we will not be in the way of legitimate investigations maybe say by other parties.
Okay, but would you know if an arrest warrant is out for Senator Bato de la Rosa?
Alam mo naman, Gretch, umaga-umaga. Magkakape muna tayo. Ayan. I don't think there is. So, ngayon, I don't think there is.
Okay, sige. Lulubayan na kita. Puntahan natin yung the other cases that we mentioned at the start of this interview involving police officers involved in sexual and physical abuse. Ibang kaso yon, meron sa Manila at meron din sa Cebu. Puntahan muna natin yung sa sexual abuse, yung rape, to be very particular. There is a CCTV footage, right, of the police officer carrying the woman.
Yes.
Isn't that a red flag already for you, for any establishment, to have allowed that to happen? Wala bang responsibilidad din yung motel na yon?
On a normal day, I'll withhold my opinion. Gaya kanina, I've been withholding my personal opinion. Pero siguro dito, clear-cut yung kaso. Buhat-buhat mo yung babae na walang malay, and if he had carnal knowledge with that woman while she cannot give any consent, that is terribly wrong. And that is why the NAPOLCOM called out yung po ating victim dito, and that victim went to the National Police Commission. Nag-file po siya ng complaint 2 days ago. And we are now investigating it through our EMIS. At red flag nga po talaga yan. Bakit nga ako pinayagan na makapasok sa isang motel ang isang babaeng walang malay at karga-karga pa. But it is what it is. We are investigating. Ang isa pang anggulo na sinisilip namin dito, Gretch, apparently, 2 pulis pala yung nandun. Nung nagiinuman sila, group inuman pala yun, meron pa palang isang pulis na present. And we have already identified that policeman, and we are doing our investigation also.
And what charges could be filed on that, the other one?
Una, bawal uminom sa bar. Bawal na bawal. I mean, no policeman should be found inside a bar. So his mere presence inside reeks of something wrong, if not unethical.
Bawal uminom ng policeman kahit hindi naka-uniforme?
Yes, bawal po sila sa bar. Bawal po sila sa sabungan.
Okay.
Lahat po ng mga ganong klaseng lugar, hindi po pwedeng makita ang isang pulis. Nakita na niyang, una, nandun siya, na mali. Tapos, nilasing pa nila isang babae. Imbis na iuwi sa bahay ng asawa, sa iba pang lugar na dinala. I think...
Is this conduct unbecoming of an officer?
Yes, it is. Grave misconduct and conduct unbecoming of a police officer. It doesn't speak well of the good nature of our policemen. Ito yung mga gantong tao ang dapat inututukan ng mga disciplinary authorities like NAPOLCOM para mawala na sila sa serbisyo. Bakit? Kasi sinisira nila ang imahe ng pulis. Ang dating ngayon sa taong bayan, yung pulis hindi okay. Okay po ang mga pulis natin. Magtiwala po tayo sa mga pulis natin. Itong mga gunggong na ito, itong mga bugok na pulis na sumisira ng imahe ng pulis, yun po ang dapat nahabulin natin. And we should go fast and hard against these cops. And nandito po yung NAPOLCOM, we're going fast and hard against these cops.
And what is the decision on these cops?
Antay ka lang. Antay ka lang.
Fast.
May tinatawag din naman ng due process, Gretch. Ikaw ba? Kunwari ba, may inakusahan ka na isang bagay ngayon. Dapat ba bukas tanggal ka na? Meron pa rin naman kailangan siyang sumagot. But the disposition rate of the National Police Commission is 60 days. And that is the fastest, I think, of any entity here in the country. Sabi ko nga sa'yo, yung mismong NAPOLCOM nga na dinatnan ko, 25 years yung kaso dun eh. 1999, 2000 yung kaso. Ano ba naman yung 60 days? That is fast, Gretch. You can ask all your lawyer friends, and that is the fastest disposition rate in this country.
Okay. Speaking of bawal, isa sa mga sinita ninyo ay yung pagsusuot ng luxury shoes worth 70,000 pesos. I mean, napaisip ako, bilang isang babae, what is wrong with wearing those shoes? Kung pinaghirapan mo naman.
Ano bang sapatos mo?
Hindi, kung naisip mo na bumili minsan, di ba? Kung if you've earned, nagtipid ka, nag-ipon ka, what was the problem with that?
Siguro we should analyze it in its proper context. Number one, there were about 4 written complaints, submitted to the National Police Commission against that general, General Jezebel Medina. And kung saan galing, written, signed complaints to. And also there were anonymous complaints filed with us. Filed with the DALG, filed with Malacanang, and given to us. So, and these complaints, ang allegations doon is mismanagement and corruption in the health service of the PNP. Bukod pa doon, pumunta sa aming opisina ang siguro 5 opisyal ng health service mismo. Personal silang humarap sa amin at sinumbong ang kanilang hepe on corruption issues. So, bukod pa doon, nung tayo ay nag-iimbestiga ng isang viral cup na nagpapabagsak ng gobyerno at dinismiss natin yung pulis na ito, napansin natin merong reports na allegedly merong mental health issues na itong pulis na ito before recruitment. before he entered into the police service. So we wanted to see the medical records, the psychological exam of that policeman. Hindi tayo binigyan ng kopya ng health service nung general na ito, ng kopya ng records nung police na ito. And anong gagawin natin? The National Police Commission, the NAPOLCOM, ang pulis ng pulis. Ang NAPOLCOM ang siyang may control over the Philippine National Police as stated in the Philippine Constitution. At hindi naman po pwede yung investigasyon ng NAPOLCOM will be stifled because ayaw mo lang ibigay yung mga dokumentong kinakailangan sa investigasyon. That is why, in that context, in the corruption context na inaakusahan ng kanyang mga sariling tao at mga written complaints, we had to check. And what we saw was she was wearing very expensive shoes. So yun yung konteksto nun. Kung una, uniforme, merong prescribed standards in uniforms. Ang standard sa uniforme ay hindi ganong klaseng sapatos. May corruption issues na nga yung opisina mo, susuot ka pa ng ganong klaseng sapatos.
Tinignan ko actually kung ano yung kailangan suotin. Sa memorandum ng police,
NAPOLCOM.
it should be mid-cut or low-cut with a round front portion with tongue and shoelace with a minimum of 4 sets of eyelets made of canvas, leather, nylon, cotton, and have a black sole. Hindi ba yun yung itsura ng sapatos?
Oo nga. Pero ulitin ko, uniform, Gretch.
Oo.
Tayo po...
Di ba usually pag sa eskwela, ikaw bibili ng sapatos mo. So, I'm just trying to be rational here about... because there's also a freedom of expression, right? Being able to buy what you want and use what you want. In this case, ano yung kaso?
If you really think about it, Gretch, again, I repeat, yung konteksto ng pag-file ng, it's not about the shoes. Hindi to tungkol sa sapatos.
So there's a bigger case here that
there's
she's
a bigger,
facing, that this
may corruption
general is
allegations
facing.
of against that general. So hindi pwedeng pikitan ng NAPOLCOM yun. Yun ang iniimbestigan ng NAPOLCOM, yung corruption cases of that general. At natalisod itong sapatos issue na to. So hindi to tungkol sa sapatos. It is something else. So it is not about freedom of expression, it's not about wearing what you want to wear. May tinatawag din tayo na ethical standards in government, Gretch. Ang isang taong gobyerno ay dapat simple lang. And sobra namang naguhumiyaw. Naka-uniforme ka na nga na dapat uniform. Kita mo naman na dapat simplihan lang ang suot. Tapos ikaw ay naguhumayaw na sapatos na ganyan.
Paano kung simple lang para sa kanya yun? I mean, meron bang qualifications
Then we check. Meron tinatawag na RA 3019, anti-graft. Kung simple sa kanya ang 70,000 na sapatos, ako wala pa, hindi makawakan ng 70,000 na sapatos, hindi pa ako nakakahawak. I haven't even
But what is the sanction there for wearing those that pair of shoes?
So the cases filed against that general is conduct unbecoming of a police officer and less grave misconduct for not giving us the documents that we have requested, actually ordered from the health service.
And what is the penalty for that?
It is from suspension, demotion to dismissal from the police service.
That's the
Yes.
spectrum.
Yes, that's a spectrum.
And then the corruption charges are still
Being investigated
by the NAPOLCOM.
by the NAPOLCOM.
Okay. So for the public's knowledge, again, what is the difference of role of the NAPOLCOM in the internal affairs service of the PNP?
So, yung pong IAS, hindi mas para maliitin sila, good morning kay Director General Dulay, yun po recommendatory lamang po. Internal lamang po ito sa loob ng organisasyon ng Philippine National Police. So, their work product is submitted to the PNP chief, recommendation to impose penalties on a policeman. It is now incumbent upon the PNP chief to act on that recommendation. So pwede niyang i-dismiss yung policeman o pwede niyang absueltuhin or whatever. Yung desisyon ng PNP chief, aakyat pa yon sa National Police Commission. So aakyat yung IAS decision, IAS recommendation na naging PNP decision, PNP chief decision, sorry, to the National Police Commission. Ang NAPOLCOM, in the Article 16, Section 6, siya ang talagang pulis ng pulis. Siya ang may power over the Philippine National Police. So, there shall be one police force, national in scope, civilian in character, to be administered and controlled by a National Police Commission. Yun ang eksaktong phraseology ng ating Constitution. So, yun lang po, isa lang po ang binigyan ng kapangyarihan ng batas no less than the Philippine Constitution to oversee the PNP. So, ang talaga pong mitangan po ng PNP ay ang National Police Commission.
And if there are cases to be filed against policemen, can they go straight to the NAPOLCOM?
Yeah, they can go straight to
They
the
don't have to
NAPOLCOM.
go through the
They don't have to go through that hulgamut. They don't have to go to the IAS, they have to go to the Chief PNP, which they can do. They don't have to go to the pleb, don't have to go to the mayors, they can go straight to the National Police Commission. Yun sinasabi ko, Gretchen, kung aware lang sana ang taong bayan, since long time ago, nabuhay ang NAPOLCOM, iba na siguro ang complexion natin ngayon eh. So yung I heard of the recommendation of Senator Lacson to strengthen the IAS. Maybe kung nakikinig sana si Senator Lacson, tulungan niya kami na to strengthen the NAPOLCOM as well. Kasi for the past years, for the past decades, languishing ang NAPOLCOM. Nasa sidelines lang. Baka panahon na ho ngayon na palakasin po natin ang check and balance mechanism ng ating PNP in the National Police Commission.
So 1 year in to the job, what is your assessment of how far the agency has gone, and what can we expect?
Expect a fair but firm NAPOLCOM. Wala po tayong politika dito. We have no political agenda. We just need to do what needs to be done. We are for the moral and welfare of our policemen. Ako po, inuulit ko, ako po'y anak ng dalawang police. Both my parents were policemen. My father's a police general, my mom's a colonel in the health service. Ako po ang taong may pinakamalaking malasakit para sa ating pulisya. Sigurado po ako dyan. Wala na po yan. Kasi po yung kinain ko, inaral ko, ay galing sa pagpupulis ng aking mga magulang. Pero sa panahon na may pang-aabuso, dahil ako po'y ordinaryong tao at nakita ko po, alam ko po ang kalakaran sa loob, alam ko po ang galawan, pwede po kayong magsumbong sa National Police Commission at di po tayo matatakot. We are firm but fair. And ang pulis po ng pulis ay ang NAPOLCOM.
Yung polisiya sa mga polis na bawal magsuot ng mahal, pwede rin ba yun sa Kongreso? Just kidding.
Hindi po tayo pulis ng Congressman.
No, but seriously, we are looking forward to what the NAPOLCOM does, especially with the more sensitive issues that we just tackled. And we hope it continues its way down that road. Maraming salamat for your time today. We have Rafael Vicente Calanisan, Commissioner of the National Police Commission, or the NAPOLCOM. And that wraps up today's episode of Morning Matters. We hope we've given you the right start to your morning. Let's go ahead and make the day matter. My name is Gretchen Ho. Kapatid, we are One News, all sides, all the time.